Now the third portion as asked by you, what to do with the mock tests. Mock tests are an integral part of your preparation, both for prelims and mains. Target as many mock tests as possible. For example, we discussed the plan for prelims 25. So from the first week itself, start attempting 2 mocks every week for the beginning. And let me tell you, when you write your mocks, you will not score good marks. Very unlikely chances that from the beginning you will score very good marks. But as I told you, we are all a process in the making. You might not score good in first, you might not score good in 10th, you might not score good in 16th, but by 20, 25 and 30, when you write your 30th mock, you will have practiced 3000 questions. 3000 questions and 3000 into 4, 12,000 options, because every question has 4 options. So you would have read 12,000 factual content or questions. So that is the value of mocks. There is no specific number of mocks to be attempted. And let me tell you, mock questions that we attempt are generally tougher than the original UPSC paper. Why is that? Because mocks get too much factual. Why? Because the institutes who are making them, they are supposed to make 50 to 100 questions every year, question papers every year. So if suppose let's assume they are making 50 questions for this particular session. 50 means 5,000 questions. And maybe if they are out of the shortlisted questions, so they have to get 10,000 questions ready, and out of that they have to select 5,000 questions. But when it comes to UPSC, for the entire year they only have to make 1 paper. So they will tell the professors of universities, of subject matter experts, that you take your time and make a very good and comfortable paper. So don't get confused that mocks you are not able to score well. Mocks have a specific reason why do we do it. Now, what is the aim behind doing mocks and what is the thing that we have to derive out of it? The first and the most important thing why do we attempt mocks is to be comfortable sitting 2 hours practicing, because it should not happen that we have not practiced and when we actually go in the examination, after half an hour we are feeling that we cannot sit for 2 hours. Anybody who has an attention span of only 15 minutes, 20 minutes, after studying for half an hour we feel like we need a break? How many of you? It happens. But once you start practicing it, suppose you have practiced 50 mocks before you go. So at least the first aim that is met is you can comfortably sit for 2 hours duration. It will not be a pain for you. So that is the first aim. We should know why we are doing it. So first, everybody is clear why do we attempt mocks? What is the first reason? To be comfortable sitting for 2 hours. Now once you are comfortable, now the second most important thing why we attempt mocks is to arrive at that specific number of questions we are going to attempt in the final exam. There may be certain people, I have met a few of my friends who are into the services. They attempt 60, 65 questions and get 63 right. For me, that's not the case. I may need to, for getting same number of marks, I might have to attempt 90, 95. So the second aim behind doing mocks is, what is the safe number for qualifying the prelims for GS? How many marks you need to get for GS to be safe? 100 we can say. So if you get 100 or maybe 105, generally it has not crossed 100 for last 5-6 years. So 100 would be a safe number to bet. So if you have to target 100, mock will help you identify for crossing 100 how many questions you have to attempt. So that will come with a little bit of practice. Maybe by first, because the questions when you start attempting mocks, most of them will be sectional mocks. They will be subject wise. For example, paper 1 entirely geography, or maybe a few chapters of geography. Paper 2 the remaining chapters of geography. Paper 3 complete geography. Like that with all subjects. So once you reach the full length tests, then you will realize that okay, this is the exact number which I need to attempt so as to cross 100. So that is the second aim behind attempting mocks. Now the third aim is you have to maintain a record for the mocks. For example, make a table on your copy, serial number, subject of which the mock is, total number of questions attempted, total questions which are correct, total questions which are wrong, and the final marks. Every paper that you attempt, just write down that. It will take you hardly 5 seconds to note down this entire thing. But why it will help you? Suppose you are now on the mock number 20. So if you have attempted 20, so I assume you might have attempted 2 to 3 papers of almost all subjects. Maybe first 3 will be geography, then history, maybe there may be modern, then ancient and medieval, maybe then economy, then the other subjects. So once you go through the chart of 20 question papers, 20 mock tests that you have arrived, you will see that when you attempt polity, you are very comfortable, you are getting very good marks. Maybe in geography also you are getting very good marks. But when it comes to economy or when it comes to ancient history, your marks are not very good. So that helps you identify which are your strong points and which are your weak points. So that is the third aim of attempting mock tests. The more you practice, the more you will realize this is what I am lacking in. For example, ancient history, let's assume ancient history, then we work more on the ancient history. So that is the third aim of attempting mock tests. Now, fourth and the most important thing about mock test is what to do with a mock test. How do we attempt it? I have told you what are the aims. Now, how do we do it? What is the process? Suppose I take a question paper. First thing is just sit on the table and chair exactly like you would sit in the final exam. Sit down, set your clock and sit for 2 hours. Generally, mock test will be completed by 1.5 hours or 1 hour 40 minutes. It will not take 2 hours because I told you reason, it is more of a factual information. It is not that well designed as compared to the original UPSC exam. But anyway, I told you why do we need to do it, despite being different. The aim is that. Now sit for 2 hours or 1.5 hours, finish it. Take a 10-minute break, 15-minute break, and then is what actual process starts. This attempting the paper was not important. It is okay. But what follows is the important part, because once you see the mock tests, after the mock test, you will find the explanations for those 100 questions you have attempted. Now that is the most important exercise, and that will take, depending upon your speed, anywhere from 2 to 3.5 hours also. Initially, it will take and it is required to be done. Don't skip this process. That I have attempted, then I attempt the next. At least for initial 20, 25, 30 tests, repeat this exercise very religiously. Now, once you start reading the explanation, you will see the question and you will see the answer. Suppose it is correct. So that's okay. You have sufficient knowledge. More focus on questions which you have did wrongly or attempted wrongly. Now, people ask me what is the analysis to be done. Analysis is, suppose you get a question wrong. See the explanation and try to identify whether it was a factual information which you did not read earlier. If it is that, then it is okay because you have not read it. Just make a note of it and keep it in your notes. Very crisply. Whatever notes you make, prelims, mains or any other stage, make sure the notes are very crisp. Okay. Now, if there is a question which is conceptually wrong, for example, somebody is asking you about geography, how do the monsoon winds flow, or something to do with the monsoons or something which is conceptual in nature, and you have attempted that wrong. It means in that particular topic, your concepts are still not clear. Go back to your static source and read that. Try to understand the concept. So there are only 2 things. One is the concepts, another is the factual information. Factual information you may have read also, but you may have forgotten. It means more revision is required. Factual information which is entirely new, it's okay, you have not read it, how are you expected to know that? Just note down and move on. And the third thing is conceptually wrong. Conceptually wrong means you have read it, but somewhere your understanding is still lacking. So go back or maybe speak to the teacher and try to identify what is the shortcoming in your understanding of that particular topic. This is the entire exercise of attempting the mock test for the prelims. Anybody having any doubt regarding the general studies, static, general studies, static, current affairs and mocks. Anybody? Time period for? Like I told you, if you're doing it entirely on your own, so minimum, even if you're spending 1 hour every day, how many pages can you read in one hour? 10, 15? 10, 15? So if let's take it 15, 150 pages. If you have to make notes also, 15 days for 1 month, only reading 1 hour every day. If you make it 2 hours, then 7 days, 7.5 days, 8 days. And if you are collaborating as a team, as I told, then within those 8 days, your notes for 4 months will be ready. Or if there are 10 people, so within 1 week, the entire year's current affairs will be done. So it depends upon how committed you are and how good a friend circle you have. Even if you don't have, you can collaborate together. Even you know that somebody is not your friend, but he or she is good in studies and wants to do well. Just form a circle. Remember, your friends are not the one who will tell you, let's go out and play when your exams are on the head. They are the ones who will tell you, you have the biggest examination of your life coming. You take care of your studies. I will even take care of your problems, your family problems. If anything comes, I am there for you. They are your friends. Just understand that. So we are clear with the prelims general studies part? Yes. If you are appearing for 25, then practically the newspaper, somewhere or the other you have to stop reading, because newspaper generally, even if you are good with it, it will take minimum 1 hour. If you have sufficient time, there is no substitute for newspaper. But making notes out of newspaper is a very lengthy process. If you have a lot of time and you have been preparing and making notes since long, then it is okay. But if you have just started, then it is not advisable, because newspaper reading in itself will take you 1 hour, and then identifying those small bits of information and noting it, it might take another 1 hour. The same exercise is being done by a lot of institutes. They have the entire faculties for that. Why not utilize the things which are already available? So clear? Anybody else?